Okay, about 4 or 5 minutes, we'll get started, okay? 5 minutes.
Test, test, test. Yeah. It's a little low, but test.
No, those are just anyway. This is easier here. Y'all make sure you can hear yourself talking, so moms are not like, I can't hear him. I can't hear nothing. Be like, yeah, I like football.
Can you hear me, Shannon?
Football's fun.
Shannon, can you hear me?
Yeah, I like football, girls. I like to go fishing. Roll Tide. Hey, Shane O'Mac, are you live and ready? You're on? He's checking. All right, let me get this going here. I'm going to share this over on our page. And yes. All right, y'all don't be picking your nose now. We live.
What did you say?
He said, she's underage.
Bro, this is gonna be an issue. This is gonna be an issue. Oh,
He's still trying.
That's from
Isn't that the guy from Alabama one?
cash out you $15. You can get a front line, so that's it. I got 38 on cash app. I'll send you hash for you.
Yeah, he's the man. He's done it for years. He looks like you do out there. He was what? Y'all kind of favor with the seating arrangement. Look at him over there.
I know. It's a fact. He's over there. Yeah.
Y'all smile at Shannon. Shannon said smile.
When y'all get done,
I'm so confused on where I'm at. Back there. Okay. What do you say?
Alright. We get a shirt?
That's what I'm saying. There's like 37 people saying something.
sponsorship. No, I am not. Why you gonna make? No. No, sir. We're good. I was sharing it. They're good.
Oh boy.
Yep. All right, guys. Yeah, I like football. Hello. Can you hear it on there, Shane? You hear me good? Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right, welcome in everybody to the 4th annual Cherokee County Media Day. I'd like to thank all the coaches for bringing the players out here in the county. We do this just try to represent our county and give the players some screen time and an opportunity for our local guys here. Shannon Fagan's here, WIS. Roy Mitchell here from the Post-Herald. Bo Starkey from Average Joe's, John Holder, and Coach Short, High School Football Alabama, and Jeff Allen from WQSB. And Mr. Jim Jacobs from FNN has joined us this year. We're glad all you guys showed up to see them. It's not about me or Dean, but it is about them. And everybody just kind of keep it to one question because there's a lot of people here, and I'm just up here to introduce who's coming on off. I ain't really going to get into a whole bunch of questions because now all of you guys are here, and it makes it like it's a real media day. So we're very appreciative to opportunity to help grow our county through people from other counties here from DeKalb and Etowah County. We appreciate it. So without further ado, Gaylesville Trojans, Coach Knapp, we'll let the players introduce themselves. And I guess first question for everybody as we come up will probably be this. I'll start it with this and let y'all work into it. How many years you've been coach there, and how many seniors you have, and what do you think about your realigned region? Like Cedar Bluff moved to 2A or something, and you and Spring Garden's going to play against something, like that. So that'll get a lot of questions for our guys to know that information. So we'll kind of just go from there.
Well, I'm entering my 6th year as the head football coach at Gaylesville. It'll be my 17th total as a head football coach. As far as the region, we lost last year. We lost what would be Coosa Christian and Decatur Heritage, and we picked up Spring Garden and Raglan. So the other opponents are the same, which is Woodville, Appalachian, Valley Head, us, and then I'm missing one, I think. Did I say Raglan? So, Ider, and we picked up Ider. So there's 3 new region opponents for us, and we're excited about the opportunity. And we had a really young football team last year, and I knew that we would take it on the chin and have some growing pains, and we did that. But now I'm looking at a really good senior class. This will be the biggest senior class that we've had since I've been at Gaylesville. So I'm looking for big things out of this group. This group has been a lot of fun to be around. They've done everything that I've asked them to do in terms of off-season. I think there's no doubt we're bigger, we're faster, we're stronger. And, of course, we've done some wrestling this off-season too, so we're working on trying to get tougher, and I think we've done that. So we got 6 seniors. You want me to introduce them, or you won't let them do it? The first young man sitting next to me is Alex Beatty. Alex has been with us before. When I first got to Gaylesville, Alex was in the 6th grade, so I've known Alex a long time. I think highly of him, and we're looking for really big things out of him. He's going to be a running back and a linebacker, and one thing I've told him continuously, he's going to get the ball early and often. Isn't that right, Jeff? So we're looking for big things out of him. The next young man is Carson Ray. Carson's going to be a defensive end for us, and he's also going to be a running back. So, as you can see, that's 2 big backs. I really like having big backs because of what we try to do, which is run the football. And Carson is he's actually a 5-year starter, which is pretty phenomenal. He started as an 8th grader. Carson had a setback last year. He tore his ACL before the season. So these 2 first young men, we didn't get to play with them last year. So having them will pay dividends for us, we honestly feel. The next young man is Caden Angle. Caden is a very unselfish young man, very coachable. He's got to play a lot of positions. He can play center, he can play tackle, he can play tight end. He'll be the weak side defensive end, and he also is going to handle all the place kicking duties. So he wears many hats for us, and we're looking for big things out of Caden Angle. The next young man is Hunter Allman. Hunter's a 4-year starter. He's been with us a long time, and we're asking a little bit more out of him this year offensively. He's going to be the quarterback. So he'll be the quarterback on offense, and he's also the quarterback on defense because he's got to be the free safety. He's got to get us lined up. So looking for really big things out of Hunter. I've been pleased with him so far as what I've asked him to do offensively. And basically, if he can just manage the game and throw it every now and then, we should be okay. The last young man is Tanner Hughes. Tanner is a 3-year starter. Tanner's going to be, he plays tackle. We're also looking at him at strong side guard, and he'll also be the 3 technique in our split 4 scheme. Tanner doesn't say a whole lot, but Tanner comes to work every day. He works hard. He's coachable. He's respectful. And I'm looking at running behind him quite a bit this year. So, again, I think we got a really good senior class, and I think you'll see a much improved Gaylesville Trojan football team this year.
Coach, you do have one more.
I'm sorry. Colin Hendon. Colin has been with us a long time, too. My bad, Colin. Todd told me to do that, by the way. Colin's been with us a long time. He's a 3-year starter. He plays tight end. He's also going to play in the secondary and outside linebacker. Colin's a great young man. He works hard. He's very smart. We have to put him in different spots. So, again, he fits what we need, being very coachable, respectable, and looking for big things out of Colin.
Coach, you mentioned that you only lost, I believe, 3 seniors from last year. A lot of young guys last year getting their feet wet, so to speak. Just talk about this year is a little bit different because all these guys right here have some experience, and I know that's going to pay dividends for you.
It is going to pay dividends. Last year when we lined up and played, I had 4 guys that had actually been in a varsity football game. Well, obviously that number changes. That number is going to be like 11 this year. So you can practice until you're blue in the face, but until you have that game experience and you're thrown experienced game speed, that's the only way you're going to learn to get better. And so I think this team is in that mode. The other people that are going to contribute is we have a really good sophomore, Jack Centel. Jack's going to be an outstanding player. He has a unique skill set. He'll play running back and outside linebacker. We have a returning inside linebacker that's also a sophomore. His name is Timmy Dawson. And so, like I say, we do have some experience coming back. That will pay dividends, what you talked about, having more people that have actually played. And so, we're going to hang our hat on that. In terms of returning starters, we have 5 returning starters on offense. We'll have 6 on defense. So obviously we've got some holes that we've got to replace. But, as the season went on last year, I looked up at some point, and we actually had 6 freshmen starting in some of those games because of injuries and things that happened last year. So, those 6 freshmen got some valuable playing experience last year, which will help us this year.
As I look at the schedule, Cedar Bluff is not on it. If I read the historical site correctly, that's the first time since 1953 Cedar Bluff and Gaylesville have not been scheduled. I guess for you players and for Coach, a little reflection upon that, and looking forward to that.
I'll be pleased to comment on that. Well, when the first regional alignment, it hadn't been released yet, and so traditionally Cedar Bluff's always been in our region. So I had to put ourselves in a position to go find some non-region games that I felt like we had a good opportunity to win, and so I did that. Well, once you do that and you lock in a contract, you know what else happens. So they were put in 2A. The opportunity was not there to play, and so that's why we are where we are. Now, in terms of we're playing 9 ball games, I had 10 games scheduled by December, but Victory Christian backed out on us because they had a coaching change, I believe, in April. So there was no wiggle room there to schedule them.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Good to see you.
Always good to see you.
Yes, sir.
You've answered a lot of questions I already had, but talk about the number of kids you have in the program right now. I guess these 6 young men sitting up there, the 6 seniors that you
Yes,
have
sir.
this year that you brought them. You talked about playing a lot of freshmen last year. Talk about how many kids are in the program. Who's the guys behind these guys coming up because the program's got to continue to build and you put it on a good foundation.
Well, total 7 through 12, we'll have about roughly 38. In terms of 9 through 12, we're going to have 23. The breakdown is 6 seniors, 3 juniors, 10 sophomore, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. That's part of getting old. 4 freshmen. So, and then I will dress out 2 8th graders. So that we'll dress out 25. The junior class is really small, but all 3 of those young men are going to have to contribute at a high level. 2 of those guys, Dalen Dobbins and Bryson Thompson, are interior guys. And then we have 1 secondary guy, Maverick Dickey. So they'll certainly have to contribute at a high level for us to be successful. Obviously, the sophomore class is the big class. They had a highly successful JV year last year. We went 5-1. And so we're hoping that from the freshman year to the sophomore year that they grow up in a hurry because they need to contribute at a high level as well.
I want to ask the guys a question. I guess they're going to pass the microphone down there. And I don't know who wants to answer the question. Maybe all of you want to answer the question. Your senior year, going into your senior year at Gaylesville, what are your goals for this football team for the 2024 season?
Winning record, make it past first round of playoffs.
What's your expectations?
You got that, Kate.
Grow as a team and as a family, and we're on the field, play as one.
You got it.
Be a better team than we were last year and grow every game and grow with each other and become a better team.
Back to Coach, and I'm asking all the questions. Anybody got a question? But talk about what you've done this summer. Have you done any team camps, 7-on-7? What kind of work have you guys done? I guess everybody gets underway, not this coming week, but the next week.
Well, I'll start and say that we have so many three-sport athletes, you know, so I'll go back to May. We opted not to do spring so we could start early. So we'll play a fall jamboree against Gaston on August the 16th. But we've had a really good summer. You know, the month of June, when you got three-sport kids, you have to focus on strength and conditioning, and you got to allow them to contribute to the other sports. As far as the month of July to this point, we have not. This next week's going to be really busy. We're doing our overnight camp where I take them to a camp in Georgia, and we do an overnight camp. I think it's really good for them to get away from mom and daddy for about 36 hours. And so, you know, we'll have about 6 practices in 36 hours. We'll have a good time, too. We'll go to my house and swim. We'll play basketball. We'll do a lot of fellowship-type stuff. But to answer your question about 7-on-7, here's my belief. I'd rather do an 11-on-11 than a 7-on-7. We're going to do that on Wednesday. We're going to go to Douglas and spend about 3 hours. I got a lot of good friends up there. Coach Lyle's a good friend of mine, and so we're going to set that up and go up there and go at each other. So we get more out of 11-on-11 because you mix run and pass. I've never thought 7-on-7 puts you in for us, a realistic situation. So we're going to do 11-on-11.
Hunter, this one's for you. You know, Coach just said a little bit ago that, you know, he was pleased with your progress at quarterback. Just talk about some of the adjustments that you've made, you know, transition into a little bit of a different position.
I mean, it's been a little rough considering coming off of playing running back last year. Quarterback is a bit different. It's a bit more to remember, but I got my team in front of me, and I know they got my back too, so I'm not really worried about it, and I trust Coach Knapp 100% all the way through. If he says he's pleased, I'm pleased too.
And just talk about these two guys that you've got behind you. You know, like Coach said, he loves to run the football, and you've got the option to hand off to these guys. Just talk about what assets they may be for this team this year.
Well, like Coach Knapp said, we didn't have Alex last year. Carson's coming off an injury, so we didn't have him either. I feel like having both of these guys is going to play a bigger role in our run game. We're going to be a lot better at establishing the run game up the middle.
And guys, just talk about, obviously a lot's going to be expected of you two. You know, like Coach said, you know, he loves to have big backs in the backfield there, and you guys fit the bill. I mean, just talk about, you know, just trying to, you know, get some production.
Well, I've heard Nat preach it my whole life, at Gaylesville or not at Gaylesville. If you can put your head down and get 4 yards, it's a good play.
Amen.
Guys, let me ask you about, I'd come over some during the summer and see you guys work out, and Coach Knapp had spoke about earlier about wrestling, you know, and I got to witness that firsthand. Tell us, let them know, I guess, you know, how do you guys feel like the wrestling and stuff makes you?
Can I answer that first?
Yes, sure. How does you feel like it makes y'all? I mean, I already know why, but.
Well, the first sign is look at Caden's left eye, and that's part of it. So I'll let y'all answer it.
I feel like wrestling's like just there to make us more aggressive, you know, not soft. soft's not the way to be in football. So just makes you more aggressive and fiery.
It's teaching you to be more physical. I didn't feel like last year we had enough physical going on in the game. It's definitely making us tougher and stronger.
It's giving us that get after it attitude, even though we're our teammates. When we're on the mat and we're in the middle of a wrestling match, we're enemies. It don't matter. But as soon as we step out and we're on the field together, we're brothers again. And that's what it is. We're just trying to be stronger, tougher, and mentally be more ready for the season to start.
You know, like Alex and Carson said, it makes us more aggressive and physical, but it also makes us more aggressive and physical for longer periods of time so we can get out there and play the fourth quarter.
Like Tanner said, makes you more aggressive, gets you prepared for any in-game situation. Like in the fourth quarter, you still need to be aggressive and fire off the ball and hit people in the mouth.
Coach, just to touch on that just a little bit more, what led you to think of this, you know, the idea, and is wrestling maybe something, you know, maybe in your future as far as as a sport? Possibly,
but I'm on, we wrestled quite a bit when I was at Douglas. And that's something that I've done at the places that I've been at. Now, I didn't do it last year at Gaylesville because you got a really young team. I was in a situation where I had to manage last year's season. I had to get some folks older. I felt like this group could handle that, and they have. And so I'm a firm believer in it. It makes you tougher. It makes you fend for yourself. You're wrestling in front of your teammates. You don't want to act soft. You don't want to be soft. So I thought that this team they needed it, and they have responded really well to it.
Talk about what you see stands in the way of many high school athletes from the excellence that coaches want to see on the field. What are some obstacles you see high school athletes having?
I think young people don't understand what a real, true work ethic is. I think they'll do it for 2 days or for a week, and then they'll take off a week. I really think that's the one thing that comes to my mind when you ask that, is that just that grind, that constant grind, and that sustainability. I think that lacks in terms of people that become really good, really great, and not so great.
Players, give us some insight into Coach Knapp's coaching style. Is he mean and grumpy like a grizzly bear, cold and calculating like a polar bear, or soft and caring like a teddy bear? Tell us about Coach Knapp.
I feel like when we go in the weight room and when we're on the wrestling mat, there's two different sides of Coach Knapp. In the weight room, he's all happy. We get in that weight room, we start doing we get in the wrestling room, we start doing like up downs and monkey rolls, and a different side of Coach Knapp just automatically shows. Like it's like he acts mad to get us mad, to show the aggression when we wrestle. I don't know. Like I've talked about it several times, just sitting over there, I'll be like, anybody just see Coach Knapp's personality just switch? Like it's fast, it's like a snap, like it's crazy.
But to answer your question, yes, Coach Knapp is all of the above. It's just time and place. He installed that in us since 7th grade. There's a time and place for everything.
So what is he on Friday night?
We're all mean on Friday night.
Good answer. Go ahead.
Coach Knapp, I don't know if you have time today to share the chainsaw story from Douglas where you'll be returning for the OTA, but make sure you please share that story with your guys because that is glorious.
You want me to share it now?
Yes.
Let's see, the year was 2012, and Douglas is playing Guntersville. Jeff knows what kind of game that is. And Douglas, we upset Guntersville one night, but before that, I had an assistant coach, and he's actually my boss now. He's our principal. He told me, he coached offensive line. He said, Coach, if we win this one, I'm going to do something crazy. He said, I think I'm going to chainsaw your desk in half if we win this one. I said, okay. Of course, I was just worried about winning the ball game. So sure enough, we upset them 20-14. And Jeff, you won't remember this, but I was on the radio with you after the game. You know, big win. You wanted to talk. And so in the background, that assistant coach proceeded to saw the desk in half. And you could hear it in the background. You could hear the chainsaw. And I'm trying to talk to Jeff Allen. Of course, I'm trying to get outside because I'm like, I know people can hear this thinking, what in the world is going on? So now that was when we were young and dumb. We're not young and dumb anymore, so.
All right, guys. Well, I gotta ask this one. I'll ask everybody. And have you guys played NCAA 25 yet? Have y'all downloaded and played it? Because I know that's a question everybody's talking about.
Yes. See that guy down there on the end?
I see him. Yeah.
Smacked him.
Huh?
Smacked.
Smacked him.
Smacked.
Now, what teams are y'all using in the game?
Florida State.
Florida State. Okay.
Oregon, Alabama.
Oregon, Alabama. Okay. I think I'm gonna try to build with like Fresno State or something. Give me a small team, you know. Okay. Anybody else? Y'all got anything, Mr. Jeff? Mr. Jim? Good. Okay. Dean? Good. Okay.
I talk to him all the time.
Okay. He'll just write something up. Shannon's got one more.
I know the last 2 years y'all have opened with West End, had a really, tough opener, the past few years. This year you've got Donahoe. I feel like that's a matchup that you guys can really, really win. I mean, just talk about trying to get a little early confidence to the season.
I think that's going to be huge to get off to a good start as far as our non-region, because when you get past the 2 non-region games, you play Valley Head, you play Appalachian, you start getting into the meat of the schedule. But to answer your question, yes, Donahoe should be a good matchup. Now, Donahoe's going to be much improved. They hired a friend of mine, Coach Bill Smith. He does a really good job. So it'll be a good challenge. But we're excited about it. It'll be a home opener. So, and it is important that we get off to a good start. Absolutely.
If Coach Knapp says he feels good about it, I feel good about it, and I know the rest of my teammates do too. Like I said, we'll follow Coach Knapp to the end of the earth. If he tells us we're going to win, we're going to win.
And you're going to follow him to Verbena in the middle of the year, which is 156 miles away. Talk a little bit about that schedule like that.
That ties into Victory Christian bailing on us, and also ties into TCC shut the door. And so I was reeling in the month of May and looking around, calling coaches left and right, and so Verbena was all that was left. So we are heading to Verbena, and it is a haul. We went to the beach a couple of weeks ago, and my little girl's in the back seat, and I said, well, we're going down the interstate. We see the sign Verbena, and I said, we're playing them. And my little girl looks at me, she goes, why? Because she realized it was 3 hours away. So, but yeah, we're going there first, and looking forward to it. It'll be a different opponent. I think that's a good thing.
And I have to compliment the footwear. I doubt if any of the other teams have as nice boots as you guys have over here.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank y'all.
Gaylesville Trojan, the Coach Knapp and guys.
Thank y'all.
Come over and
Thank
check them
y'all.
out. And,
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Y'all have games, stuff coming up this week. Yes, sir. Okay, yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for Gaylesville camps and stuff. All right. Next up will be Coach Heath and the Sand Rock Wildcats. Hey, Gaylesville, guys, make sure y'all see Ryan before you go and get your picture. Y'all get a team picture back here, please. Huh? Oh, yeah. Slide on down here, son. Come on down here with me.
Sweet.
That's fine, Ryan. They're together, and you can just it don't matter to me at all. Whatever's easy for you, bro. Coach Alan Heath, Sandrock will let you introduce yourself, and first, same questions as the other guys. How many seniors do you have? And with being in this kind of a new region for you, got some new teams coming in, and y'all have been 2A for a while, so you can talk about that too, and then we'll let the guys introduce yourselves. Tell us what class you are, what position you play, and whatnot, okay? All right.
My name's Alan Heath. I'm the head football coach at Sandrock going into my 5th season. Our region changed some, but not completely. So basically, instead of being mostly north, teams north of us, we kind of added in some from the Gadsden region area. So we added Gaston and Pleasant Valley and Cedar Bluff into the region that we had last year. And then to that, you have Pisgah, Section, and North Sand Mountain. We're a 7-team region, so that'll be our region for the upcoming year. So it's all people we're familiar with. I mean, we may not have played them in the past 2 years, but a lot of them were in our region before, or non-region opponents, So it's people we're familiar with. But there ain't an easy out on our schedule. Not one. From week 0 through the end, every team is not only competitive, but good. So, I mean, we'll have a real test this year, but I'm excited, looking forward to it. These guys worked really hard.
I'm Seth Holland. I'm a senior, and I play right tackle and defensive end.
I'm Caden Bullard. I play outside linebacker and left tackle.
My name is Kane Robinson, and I play fullback and middle linebacker.
My name is Gatlin Cox. I play the H-back and outside linebacker and punter.
Coach, I know last year a lot of these guys were really young. I believe you had 14 freshmen, had an 8th grader. Should be more experienced this year. I mean, just talk about, that should help you guys, this year. You're not having to, teach things a little bit over and over. Now these guys know.
Yes, sir. And, I've got 8 seniors this year. And of course, one of them, unfortunately, Cam, he tore his ACL during basketball this summer. My tight end played linebacker for us, and he's a really good ball player. So that hurts us. But other than that, we pretty much got everybody back from last year. I only had 3 seniors last year, great kids. And like I said, even off last year's team where we were really young and inexperienced, and it showed, I would not have traded a single kid on that football team for anybody else in the county or the state, because those are awesome kids. They worked their tails off, and the results weren't what we wanted. But I'm super proud of them for their hard work and dedication. And the thing is, we've got they worked really hard over the off season. This group of kids we got now, and like I said, I've got 8 seniors, I've got 4 juniors, but then I've got like 14 sophomores. And then a lot of those sophomores got playing time last year. Alec, our quarterback, he started every game last year as a freshman. I mean, he had like 1,300 yards passing as a freshman. One of our other seniors who's not here tonight, last year was his first year playing football as a junior, Gavin Cunningham, and he ended up having like 700 yards receiving as a kid who's never played football before. So we've got a lot of kids. Last year, we did not have many kids who had been in for a lot of varsity snaps. And this year, I'm expecting the experience that a lot of them got, including these guys up here. Let's see, Gatlin is about the only one with extensive, up until last year, with extensive experience at the same position. Now, Kane was a guard halfway through the season last year, and we moved him to running back, and he still ended up with 600 yards rushing, only playing half the season at running back. So, I mean, and each one of these guys, I mean, you can see how much bigger they are than if you saw them last year, how, like, in the weight room, the attitudes and the behavior. I'll be honest with you guys, I get up every morning. I get up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work. And I get up at 4:30 in the morning in the summer, you know, and I'm excited to go work with these guys. They work their tails off, and they're fun to be around. And not only do they love football, they love working hard, they love the weight room, they love each other. And that's from every one of the grade levels all the way through. They like being around each other, and that makes it a lot easier for me to like being around them. You know, actually, like I said, because pretty much almost everybody, there's a couple of positions, you know, we'll have to fill in at our tight end position and one of our linebackers because Cam, who played well for us last year, he's not going to be able to play much. Hopefully by the end of the season he'll be able to come back, but, you know, he tore his ACL a month ago. So, but, you know, other than at that position, pretty much everybody has some experience at their position. So, you know, I'm excited to see how much we've grown, you know, from last year to this year. And, you know, we'll our offensive line, pretty much there's one position that's kind of up for grabs on the offensive line, but everybody else has got experience offensively up front. And really all of our backs and receivers have got varsity level experience, even though a lot of them are young. Some of them don't have a driver's license yet, but they've got, you know, plenty of experience because they got to play as freshmen. And you can see the difference. You know, we got together with Spring Garden and Cedar Bluff over at their place last week. And one of the things that I was told a lot by the other coaches were, hey, y'all are a whole lot bigger than you were last year, which, I mean, kids grow, but also they've worked really hard. So, and, you know, you talk about when you're a freshman there are freshmen in high school who haven't hit puberty yet, you know, and they're having to play varsity level football against Fife and Pisgah, and, you know, that's a tough road to hoe. You know, at least now some of them, you know, they've grown up a little bit, not only matured physically, but also emotionally, and that mentality of, oh, I can do this. You know, it's like, you know, the same thing I've always said about, you know, when we play a team, whether they're an undefeated team or a team that hadn't won a game, hey, guys, you know, their feet and their farts stink too. They're just like you. I mean, you know, so that's kind of the same situation. Is we have to understand that everybody's kind of in the same boat that we are, you know, and when we're just getting experience and getting better, and I couldn't be more proud of this group of guys.
What percentage running and what percentage passing are you kind of vaguely looking at for Sandrock's offense?
I like to be about 70-30 run. That's kind of my goal. It really depends on what opportunities present themselves week to week, though. I mean, you know, if they're going to stack the box, we're going to throw the ball more. You know, if they're going to spread everybody out, then we're going to run the ball more. We kind of look at, you know, how many guys they have in the box, and based on what we like to do up front, where they have them. You know what I'm saying? Like if what techniques they're playing defensively, they'll help us to understand what our best approach is going to be. And really, we take that week by week on our game planning. We have our base stuff that we do, and we're going to do that. But a lot of times, you know, you run a certain play or a certain type of play to set up another play. And, you know, I'll never forget years ago I was coaching somewhere else, and we ran the same play 3 times in a row. And the first 2 times I heard somebody in the stands saying that, you know, why are we running that stupid play, da-da-da-da-da. Well, on the 3rd time, the quarterback got the right read, hit it for a touchdown. Said, it's about time we ran that play. Well, it was the same play. I mean, you know, but people don't understand that. You try and set up plays by running other plays, and sometimes you get to see things based on what they're running. But I prefer to be a run-first team. And, you know, you get in bad situations, sometimes you have to throw the ball a bit more. That being said, though, I'm really, really happy with how Alec, our sophomore quarterback, has progressed. And, I mean, you know, to be a freshman playing the opponents we played last year and still have, you know, like, I think it was 1,300 yards, something like that pass, and with inexperienced receivers for the most part, to be able to do that, he has progressed tremendously. And he's, you know, these guys will attest to it. For a sophomore, Alec's one of our hardest workers in the weight room. He is, I mean, he's getting jacked. I mean, you know, and to have, you know, the leadership these guys are showing as seniors, and it's really trickled down to the younger guys to where they don't complain. You know, we go out and we say we're going to run, it's kind of a joke, but we say we're going to run 220s today. We're going to run a dozen 220s today. And used to, they're joking with me, but like, yes, I can't wait to do that. I know they don't mean it, but, you know, they're saying that because they, you know, I tell them it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity we have to get better. And these guys are starting to realize, in fact, I think it was Seth just a minute ago sitting at that table said, golly, Coach, we got one more week of summer workouts, and then we won't ever have them again because these are all seniors. So, yep, we got football practice, you know, a week from Monday. So it's sinking into them how much they love what they do, and that really builds me up to know that they understand what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Players, give us some insight into Coach Heath. Is he mean and grumpy like a grizzly bear, cold and calculating like a polar bear, or soft and caring like a teddy bear?
Soft and cuddly like a teddy bear.
I gotta agree with Seth. He's pretty soft. He's got.
No, he's, whenever, we're just like, before workouts or anything like that, he's, you know, we'll talk to him, whatever, have a good time. As soon as workouts start and, you know, he finds somebody like not doing something right or something, it's just like flip of a switch and he goes off. And then, you know, most of the time, like I say 98% of the time during football practice, he's pretty mad about something. So, you know, he's pretty mad most of the time.
Then you got game days where he's just mad the entire day and he wants to swan dive off the press box.
That's true.
Coach, we live in a time and era where there's so many distractions. We talked about video games earlier, girls, you know, pool parties during the summer. How do you keep your guys dialed in? Because I'm telling you, just by looking at them, and I've seen them, you know, a few months ago when school was in, these guys are noticeably bigger and look stronger.
You know, one of the great things, and you know, I talked with a young man who was a former player of ours at Sandrock who went to the military, and he said the best thing about boot camp for him was the fact that he didn't have his phone. And he said, I actually focused on what we were doing at hand. But I'll say this about these guys. They like to have fun. You can tell they're joking around, you know, and that's fine. They like to have fun. They enjoy being around each other. But when it comes to, I mean, of course, we have a no cell phone in the weight room and stuff while we're working out policy. They put them in their lockers. They stay in there. But they want to be doing what we're doing. And so when they finally realized that, I think when I first started, I won't lie, I do have a close relationship with these guys. I spend a lot of time with them, hours every day since they were freshmen. I mean, you know, and but, you know, I think that they realized that I'm not trying to punish them. I actually care about them. I want them to get better. And when I get mad at them, if I didn't care about them, I'd tell them to go play Marco Polo on Highway 411 or something. You know, I mean, I actually care about them, and I want them to get better. So I'm willing to be tough on them. I tell them, I love you enough to not care if you hate me. And so I think they understand that, and they know that, like, I laugh because, and Matt, I'll tell you this, when we were the other night at Spring Garden, Kane lined up wrong one time. Now, and I, in my brain, we're at practice, so I went nuts on Kane, forgetting there's people around watching us, you know, and I kind of felt bad afterwards, actually. But Matt said that one of the parents from another school said, is he always like that? And Matt said, no, he's pretty tame tonight. But, I mean, me and Kane have a pretty close relationship, and he knows I don't hate him. He knows I'm not mad. I mean, in that moment, we needed him to line up in a certain way, and he made a mistake. And so I just pointed it out to him. Maybe a little bit louder than it needed to be, but I still pointed it out to him. But their focus and their intention, they do things intentionally. I really feel like, and I've told this story before, but years ago when I was coaching another place where we were successful as assistant coach, one day we had to be delayed going out to practice, just the coaches. They had a faculty meeting or one of those things, you know. And we get down there, and the kids were down on the practice field doing practice, and it was as intense as if we were out there watching. We didn't tell them to start, but they had gone down and started, and it was the seniors were motivating the younger guys, and they were really. And I knew then that we had kind of made it where we were going to be successful, you know, the whole time we were there, and we were, because that buy-in level was that high. And really, the biggest thing that these kids need to understand, I think they really are starting to, is that, you know, your body is going to lie to you and tell you, I can't do this, or you need to shut it down. And I tell them, I just make the percentage up, but I tell them it's about 60%. You know, it may not be 60%, but at 60%, your body's going to tell your brain, oh, stop, I can't do this anymore. But you got 40% more. And you're not going to die. You're not going to die. You're in good shape. You've been working hard, all right? So keep pushing yourselves. Keep working. And these guys really seem to have done it. Like I said, I haven't heard a legitimate complaint, no matter what I tell them to do. In fact, we were understaffed on Tuesday morning this past week because a lot of coaches gone down to Montgomery and everything. And I was not real happy for the first time this summer with some of the way we did things that morning. We only had 2 sets of eyes on them. And so we went out there, and when we were doing conditioning after we got done lifting and doing everything, and I had them do, you get on one sideline and you sprint to the other sideline, but when I blow the whistle, you have to backpedal. And I'll blow the whistle again, you sprint, backpedal, sprint. That's not fun. You know, that's 53 yards, you're doing that, and it takes a while to get across because especially if I'm mad, I'm blowing that whistle a lot, you know. And but I didn't hear one complain. I didn't hear, well, go, how are we going to do this? No, they actually all did it. And so we didn't do as many as I'd planned on because of their attitudes and their hard work. And really, it was just to remind them that we have to stay focused. And if you won't stay focused, then I'll make you stay focused. But I generally don't have to do that with this group. They're a whole lot of fun to be around, and they really, like I said, the experience that they have and the hard work, I'm really proud of them. I won't say that out loud. We're good. We're good.
Speaking of staffs, who is your staff now? Is it the same?
We had a little bit of turnover, but not a lot. I still have Coach Thornberry, Coach Keith Bates, Coach Josh Bates, and we've added Coach Eli Bates, which is Keith Bates' son. Also added Coach Luke McMeekin, and who was, I think it was Mr. Football. Yeah. Anyway, Sandrock guy, and let's see, Coach Traffinstead, Coach T, our basketball coach. We're pretty much, like I said, we had a little bit of turnover, but not much. And they're also, here's the thing, not only are they great coaches, but they're great men. They're people who I know that I can trust, that they're going to reinforce the things that I'm teaching these guys every day. And, we have different coaches lead our devotionals in the mornings, and we different coaches. I know I can trust them if like I had to leave early on Thursday to go down for the rules clinic in Montgomery. I knew at the end of practice that Coach Thornberry, who was kind of taking over for me, that he was going to do the same prayer with them and stuff at the end that I always do. And that's a great feeling. Of course, we've been together now, most of us, for 5 years. So, that trust level that's built between the coaches. Also, I feel like now this group of kids who's been with most of us, all the same guys for that long period of time, they have that same level of trust, and they know that we have their best interests at heart.
Good afternoon, Coach. Are you still in the same office back in the corner you used to be when I come to visit, that little small office? They still got you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just wondered if you had moved up, but they hadn't moved you up yet.
No, sir.
You talked about experience coming back. Talk about how many starters that you have coming back offensively and defensively. And second part of the question is talk about, have you done 11-on-11s, OTAs? Have you done 7-on-7? What have you done this summer in preparation?
Well, pretty much we've got 9 or 10 starters on either side of the ball who started some games last year, and like I said, they've really worked hard in the offseason. Yes, we did some we did a 7-on-7 at Piedmont, and we did like an OTA thing, like I said, with Cedar Bluff and Spring Garden. And one of the things, I was happy with our effort and our attitude. Now, there's some things we got to fix, and that's a good thing to see early. Like I said, we have to be able to be in a situation where if something goes well, we continue to keep our foot on the accelerator. And if we have a negative circumstance, we don't allow that to affect us. And that's something that comes with mental toughness, which is something we've really worked on. So I'm excited to see. I'll be honest with you, I was not pleased with some of the outcomes we had at our Piedmont 7-on-7, and we addressed that. Unfortunately, we played back to back, so I didn't really get to address that until lunchtime when we were over in the tent away from everybody so that I could really address it. But because I didn't feel like it needed to be addressed in that public of a setting on the field. But I'll say this, when we came back out after lunch, we didn't end up winning that game, but we played a good Piedmont team, and we really, I was really impressed with the effort and the attitude and performance. We battled with them back and forth, probably the best we've played all day. So, in a regular situation, if we were in a ball game, on a Friday night, I would have called a timeout, and we would have addressed that at that point in time. But, I was really happy with their response to that. Now, there's a few things, like I said, we really need to work on to get better, but the good news is we got a couple of weeks to do that, so I'm excited, looking forward to that.
I want to ask the guys a question for the 8 seniors. Guys, what are your goals individually and goals as a team going into your senior year, knowing this is the last time you're going to represent the Wildcats?
I think, for me personally, just make it past the first round. We have a better schedule this year. We have a better team this year. So I think it's very accomplishable, So I don't know. That's just I've never been past the first round, and I think that'd be a pretty neat experience.
For me, I mean, I have the same goals too, but I'm just trying to focus in on that first game. We're going to play a good Spring Garden team at Spring Garden. It's going to be a tough environment, and we really want to win that game. We really want to start our season right and just have a really good year that we can be proud of and not leave anything out on the table.
My goal this year is probably, now that I'm at fullback, is try to get as many yards as I can for us. I got a good line in front of me, so I'm real excited to do that. And, all those close games we almost could have won last year, I want to win those games. I want to do some winning this year. So that's the main thing I'm really looking forward to.
I want to be able to build up the younger guys because, we have these 8 seniors this year, but after this year we have 4 juniors, and after that we have the 14, 15 sophomores to carry on our legacy in Sandrock.
Gatlin, just to continue off of that, I know last year you had a car accident, and missed some time. Do you come into this season just, knowing that, hey, it can be taken away at any point? Just talk about your feelings there. You being a senior, obviously. I mean, just, sort of continue off of what you were talking about a while ago.
Yeah, I know since this is last year of me being a player, I got to give 110% every chance I get. And, next year my goal is to be able to come back and help coach. I want to be able to coach on my granddad's field. It'd be nice. But, after this year, all these young guys, they look up to us. And they need to become the people that we are now to be able to lead the team to further than what we ever have. So
I've already told Gatlin that as soon as track's over his senior year, that we'll be working on getting a coaching card for him. So.
Players, what are some of the things you'll remember about game days at Sandrock?
I think mostly for me, I think back to times like the feeling before you go out, before you start walking out to the field, where you're just sitting there and you got your quiet time. I think about that a little bit. Kind of gives me chills a little bit,
I'm always going to remember Coach Keith Bates. We'll always have a ring around him, and he has his own little motivational speeches or whatever, and it'll be different every week, and it really gets you fired up. He's a really good dude. And I'm gonna miss those.
I'm always thinking about, first off, during the school day, how nervous Coach Heath gets. It's hilarious. He's red faced the whole day. It's great. And then also, that whole after you eat, after walkthrough you eat, and then you got sit in the dark. It's just a great feeling. You're nervous. You can't wait. You wish the game would start right now, but you got to wait till 7 o'clock. So that's what I always remember.
I always remember the last pass we do during warm-ups. Everybody, all the players, we go down, we circle up. In past years, we've had to do a backflip in the circle, and then last year, me and another player, we'd do something. And that's just a great feeling of, it's like we're our own family, just there having fun.
And I'll ask you guys, too, about NCAA 25, if y'all played yet, and who's your team, or...
We actually just had a tournament at our buddy's house, at Grayson's house. And, all right, he split the money with Cam because he can't beat Cam. He beat Cam once. We did a double elimination, and everybody put in.
They're not really playing for money. Don't listen to that.
Okay. We, anyway, so it was double elimination. And, Cam's the best, so Caden had to split the pot with him.
Who's your teams now? Who do y'all play with?
I play with Kansas because they got this read option package, and they also got Wildcat and stuff in there. There's a cheese play in it, so it's good.
Yeah, I don't play video games like at all, and so when I came out, I was like beating everybody that I played until. But then when it finally came to it, I was gonna get eliminated. I lost by 1 point. So whatever.
Anybody else? Mr. Jim, anything? Good? Okay, well, that'll be your Samurai Wildcats, and y'all go check them out this coming week. Y'all have camps and stuff or other stuff you're doing? Or
This week we'll basically just be doing, last week we were heavy on that kind of stuff. This week we've got workouts, and then we'll go out and throw the ball around a little bit afterwards. And then, starting a week from Monday. Yes, sir. And then next week, we didn't have a spring, so we'll start actual practice a week from Monday. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, men, and good luck to y'all on your season. Samurai Wildcats. And next up will be the Spring Garden Panthers. Spring Garden Panthers, Coach Ragsdale and Bunch. Sandrock, y'all make sure you get your picture took over there. Mr. John's going to get you, and Ryan will get a picture too. All right, welcome in here to the 4th Annual Cherokee County Media Day. And at the time we have Spring Garden Panthers, and we appreciate everybody for coming by. And again, we'll announce Shannon Fagan here from WIS, Mr. Roy Mitchell from the Post Herald, Bo Starkey from Avery's Joe's, also Jim Jacobs here from FNN Network, Jeff Allen and crew here from WQSB, and of course, Coach Short and John Holder from High School Football, Alabama. This is the 4th year we get to hold this, and we're proud to be able to represent our county and put them out in front of the eyes for the kids. And this is about them, not about us at all. We appreciate anybody that sponsors and, wants to go check out your teams and buy their gear and go to their games and, go to concession stands. And steak sandwich is historically known in the county for their steak sandwich. So we'll let you guys take it over, Coach Ragsdale, and you can tell us how many seniors you have and kind of about this new added to a different region, sort of. You can talk about that too.
I'm Coach Barrett Ragsdale. This is my 15th year at Spring Garden, starting my 15th year, 2nd year as a head coach. This year we've got 12 seniors. I think our numbers are 12, 7, 7, 7. So 7 juniors, 7 sophomores, 7 freshmen. So returning 8 starters on offense, 10 starters on defense. We did get put in a new region. The first 3 games of our season are opponents that we had, common opponents we had last year, and then we hit the Valley Heads, Woodville, Ider, and Appalachian, and Ranburn. So that's who we added. Got some new faces this year. Doing a little bit more traveling, just in a different direction. We've been used to driving to down south, Winterboro, TCC, over to Victory Christian, Pale City. So now we're going another direction. And these guys, I don't know. Well, I know they haven't played in that region, in that direction. But my first probably 8 years at Spring Garden, we were in a region with Cedar Bluff, Gaylesville, us, Valley Head, Appalachian, Gaston, Collinsville. When I first got to Spring Garden, Collinsville was 1A. So yeah, new region for these guys, new region for me. But I'll let these guys introduce themselves.
My name's Connor Bates. I'm a senior and I play running back and secondary.
My name is Noah Barber. I play quarterback and safety, and I'm a senior.
I'm Gray Simpson. I'm a senior and I play D-line.
I'm Hayes Garman. I play O-line and D-line.
Coach, I know last year, you officially got the reins, I believe, in late July. Just talk about maybe a difference between, last year at this time versus this year at this time, I mean, you're not having to, scramble, so to speak. I mean, just talk about that.
I'm sleeping a lot more this year, okay, than I was last year at this time. I'd lay down every night thinking things I needed to do and had 2 weeks to get it done. But, yeah, definitely a lot different this year. Last year had, I think, 4 weeks till we started practice. So having the off season, and not that we changed anything, but having the off season to get prepared, I mean, installing some things that I wanted to do, you had that time during the spring. So definitely more relaxed feeling, not in a bad way, but in a good way, more relaxed going into the season, knowing what we can and can't do. Yeah, it's a sprint.
Noah, I know you sort of split time a little bit last year with Chapel. I mean, obviously this year, a lot more be expected of you at quarterback. I mean, just talk about, I mean, you're the guy. I mean, just talk about that.
Well, it's a great opportunity just to come out and try to manage the game the best I can because we have a lot of athletes on the field. Get the ball to the athletes, the guys that can run, the guys that can catch. So, and we got a good O-line. We got 5 seniors, so I'm pretty ready to play with my guys. I've been playing with them for a long time now, so I'm ready. Sir.
I guess talk a little bit about what you guys did during the off season, maybe in the weight room and maybe in the 7-on-7.
Yeah, the weight room, the weight room is a place that we put a lot of time in, and I think every one of these guys up here hit some personal best in the weight room, and a lot. I don't know. I think the last couple of weeks we probably had a more personal best reach than we had in a long time in the weight room. So we've had a really good off season. Far as our camps this summer, we've done 3. Sand Rock and Cedar Bluff came over. We had a little lineman competition, and I tell the linemen they get left out a lot during the summer. So I think they really enjoyed that. I know our guys did. We mixed in some competition. They did tire flips, sled pushes, obstacle course, max rep on bench. We scored that, so put a little competitive edge in there for our kids. And then we did a 7-on-7 on the field with our skill players. Then we went to FCA Etowah, did their passing camp. Coach Mintz put that on. It was a great event. And then we did Piedmont 7-on-7 this past Saturday.
So what positions do you have less experience and more experience?
Well, I think, it's pretty balanced. I know we got a lot of seniors, having 12 seniors, but we got a lot of guys, juniors and seniors that are right there going to be in the mix, and it's about even for skill players and linemen that we have. But I would say skill players, we have the least amount of depth when you start looking at the depth chart than we do on the line.
Players, tell us a little bit about what you like about Friday night atmosphere at Spring Garden.
Well, I gotta say the most I like about what we do at Spring Garden is when we walk out in front of the stadium and we walk out to Hell's Bells in front of everybody. It just gives me like the butterflies.
My favorite thing, especially like home games, obviously, is the fans because we always, even when we have away games, we always have good support from the fans. They travel well, but especially at home, we always have good atmosphere, I feel like. So it's nice.
Like Connor said, there's just, something about whenever you first walk out and they're playing the music and we're locking arms. I don't know, you can't match that feeling. That's what I really love.
They're definitely right. That feeling, walking out to Hell's Bells, is freaking crazy, I tell you. I've never felt something like that before since I moved here.
Coach, everybody knows, and I don't think nobody would argue with me, that your backfield's pretty loaded. I mean, Connor's an excellent back, and Noah does a good job, and also John Welsh. But tell us, but they would not be as good as they are without the line. So who is your lineman returning this year? And
Lineman returning, we got 2 on the end with their Gray Simpson and Hayes Garman. Then we got Tanner Ruart, Jacob Welch, and Mason Woods. Then rolling in there with him right there, he got some reps last year as a freshman, was Zach Scoggin. So, and I've got several other sophomores in there that, will help we get in a situation where we can get them a lot of reps throughout the season. A couple junior guys coming in. So, But yeah, these guys, you know, I think somebody said earlier, I don't know if it was Coach Heath who was talking about, you know, you got a few simple plays that you're running, and that's the name of the game. Everybody's got 4 or 5 plays that when it comes to crunch time, you're going to revert back to that, but it's about getting the ball in the playmaker's hands, and sometimes you can overcomplicate it. But yeah, it's a good group of kids, and not just athletically. I've watched these kids literally grow up. My time at Spring Garden, I've seen them come through, and I enjoy being around them. And each year it's no different. I think every coach would agree. Each year when you lose a group of seniors, it's a sad time. It's an exciting time. You're sad that you're not going to be around them anymore, and the friendship, I say friendship, professional bond that you make with them. You're excited to see what the future holds, but you're sad to leave them. And this group of 12 seniors, every one of them, great kids, great work ethic, and a big thing for them this year is going to be passing that along to the underclassmen that are watching these guys and following in their footsteps.
Coach, let's talk about your schedule just a little bit. You open with Sand Rock at home, and you got a pretty tough road trip to a very much improved Pleasant Valley team, and then you open region play at Ragland, and then in week 5 you've got to go to Valley Head, and Ragland and Valley Head are probably, along with you guys, favorites in the region. Just talk about the front end of the schedule just a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely, starting off, I told Coach Heath, I commented on his guys when they came in the passing camp the other day. I was like, you got a different team. You guys are, I said, they're confident. They're bigger. They're physically, you can just tell the difference. So Sandrock's going to be a tough opponent for us right off the bat, and we always play a good football game with each other. Pleasant Valley, we've played them for the last 4 years, I guess. They're returning a lot of seniors. Ragland's starting off region play. Like you said there, Ragland, Woodville, Valley Head, those are 3 really good teams starting off this new region with, and we gotta be ready to go. We gotta hit the ground running, and we don't have time to fool with the learning curve, so to speak. We've got to be pretty clean right off the bat to win some football games.
Coach, Shannon asked you a question earlier about this being your second year. Talk to me about the things that you're assistant 14 or 15 years. What's the one thing that you learned from being assistant to being the guy where the buck stops last year? What's the one thing?
You can sum that up real easy when you move from assistant to the head coach. Sometimes it's not as fun. So I was just sitting there thinking, you was asking them about playing the NCAA game. For years as assistant coach, we'd get done, we'd eat, and we'd do our walkthroughs. Well, my room was the room where we would go and we'd set up a Madden tournament. We'd set up an NCAA tournament. Needless to say, my room is no longer that room on Fridays. So, but yeah, you think about, I think back over the years seeing things that Coach Howard did, and I used to always give him a hard time. And we'd be sitting in the office, and Coach Howard would be wound up tight, and I would poke at him, and just be loose and hit Ragsdale, stop it. So now I'm the guy having to tell, my assistant, guys, you're going to have to calm down, okay? So, a little more stress, a little more on your plate, but it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Coach, you talked about, and I want to ask you and I want to ask your seniors this. 12 seniors, you said, that's a lot of seniors for a 1A high school football team. A lot of experience coming back. Is that added pressure on this football team?
I don't think so. I don't think so. We talk a lot about standards. We talk about doing it our way. The standards that we hold each other to, coaches, players. So nothing's changed. Standards are still the same. Each year we bump it up a little bit. And these guys know we sit there talking at the table, and we talk a lot about it every day when we get done lifting. And somebody asked me, I think Mr. Holder asked me while we were sitting there before. He said, "Hey, anything that you got to do differently this year?" I said, "Well, that's the first time we've been knocked out of the first round in a long time." I said, so I told the guys, if you want a different outcome, you've got to put in a different amount of work. You've got to do something different, So, yeah, there's going to be higher expectations, but I don't think the pressure feels any different.
Okay, guys, 12 seniors. We talked about pressure there. What's goals for your football team? If y'all sit down as a group of seniors and a football team, talked about your goals, individually and as a team?
Well, my goal as an individual is have a good year at running back, and then as a team, I want us to be playing in the first week of December.
Individually, I guess to win, because as a quarterback, that's what you're looked at. If you can't win as a quarterback, then you're probably not a good quarterback. Then as a team, I want to win, because I feel like our programs here recently has been known for winning and having like my 8th grade year winning the 4th round, my 9th grade year winning 3rd round, and then my 10th grade year 2nd round, now 1st round. Junior year, it's like, well, we got to make a change, So, and then helping the younger guys, passing on the program to them and turning them into, make sure they know how to handle the program when we're gone.
I'd say as a personal goal that whenever I hang this jersey up for the last time, I don't want to have no regrets. I just want to be able to look back and say that I gave it everything I had. And I'd say as a team goal, obviously just win as many ball games as you can.
Individually, I'd say come into the next game as the right mindset, As a team, you really just want to be able to win. And I think we have the right group to do that this year.
You four sitting there, what does it mean to be chosen to represent Spring Garden? What does it mean? Others could have been chosen, but what does it mean to you personally to be sitting there representing your school, representing your community, and representing those that have come before you?
It feels good to be chosen to represent my community and stuff, because it feels like I have done the right things to be chosen. I have worked hard, and I have the right mindset whenever it comes to things, and it's a blessing to be chosen to represent my community.
It's great. I'm glad that Coach Ragsdale thinks that I'm up to standard to come up here and represent our school, and I wouldn't want to represent anywhere else.
It means the world to me, because this right here is like a reward to all the hard work that you put in the weight room and on the field too. So it means the world.
Being able to be chosen for this is our privilege, and it comes with hard work and dedication.
Guys, what's something that, since you're on this topic, because we've covered y'all for a long time, and our first big coverage class was Riley and Weston and Luke, and their young years. What's something that y'all may remember about them that you took from them that you want to leave to the young guys on the team now that you're the guys?
Well, I watched them in the weight room. They worked hard every day, and they came up there on their own and worked out. And that's what I want to leave with the younger kids as I go.
They were just some dogs. They came in and put in the work every day, and I feel like they installed that in me to go out there and do that, and I hope I can do that to the younger kids.
Yeah, kind of like Noah said, that's kind of where I want to be, because them dudes hasn't been in high school in 4 years, and we're still talking about them. Like, that's where I want to be, looking at them in the weight room, seeing them lift all that weight, looking up to them. That's what I want to be for, like, my brother and his class and all that.
For me, I wasn't there for Riley and Weston, but I was there for Chapel and Cam. And I can tell from their leadership and their dedication that I needed to do the same thing, and I think we have proven that as a team, and that's it.
Coach, not to throw shade on any other programs or anything like that, but we travel around and we go to dozens of places over the years, and there's just something different about Spring Garden when you guys get ready to play. The atmosphere, the fandom, just everything about the school. Can you talk a little bit about what you think makes Spring Garden to all the outsiders that see it from the outside?
It's like the $1 million question, I get asked that a lot, and I'm not from Spring Garden. I grew up in Piedmont, went to school at Piedmont, and got hired at Spring Garden in 2010. And it is a different place in a good way. It's special, and I think the big deal about that, and a lot of schools around here have the same type atmosphere because of this same reason. Because you see guys and girls that their parents wore maroon and gold, their grandparents wore maroon and gold, and you can look up in the stands and see people that care about, more than just, I feel like people care more than just about the wins and losses. It's more about keeping that standard and upholding the Spring Garden culture, and that's what sets it apart in a big way. And you're right, people. I have people ask me all the time, "Are you sure you're 1A? Y'all sure?" We came out to y'all's game the other night, and you sure you're 1A? Where's your band at? Because we do. Our people are very supportive and through the good and bad. Some places you're going through some bad years and those bleachers are empty. I've been through some rough years, and same people still coming, still supporting. So you're right. It's a special place, and I'm honored, and it's a privilege to be able to wear the maroon and gold and be there.
Coach, I interviewed Chris Yeager before, and he talked about it's his job to reflect on his previous team. It's his job to reflect on his coaches. But he said most importantly it was his job to reflect on the job he did and evaluate himself. How do you go about doing that with yourself? I know being the first-year head coach there, you come into a tough situation. You guys obviously had talent. You got a lot of good things done. But when you look at yourself and your team last year, how would you evaluate it yourself?
We just had this conversation last week in the weight room, didn't we? All right, because kind of like Coach Heath was saying, I looked around, I thought it wasn't our best day in the weight room, and I told the kids, I'm like, in life, as a husband, as a parent, as a friend, not just as a football coach, but, if you want to be the best person that you can be, if you want to be the best player that you can be, and I'm stealing this from Nick Saban, and he said, you got to be able to tell the truth. So I know what my weaknesses are. I know what I'm good at, or I think I'm good at, but I know more what I'm not good at. So, as a head coach, you got to put that pride down and say, hey, I've got an assistant coach that's better at coaching this than I am, or, and go through that. So as a head coach, that was my big thing is seeing what I can do, what I can't do, and putting that on somebody that's better than me at doing certain jobs.
As a coach, you're trying to find excellence. What are some of the biggest obstacles you see for high school kids in that pursuit of excellence?
Society, where we're at today. My kids know I will say it 5 times, 10 times, whatever a day. Don't be soft. Y'all supposed to answer that, by the way. Don't be soft. If things get hard, you want to quit. I think that's kind of the way of society. If it gets hard, just quit. If it gets hard, move schools. If it gets hard, that's what me and Mr. Holder were talking about. Things get hard, things don't go the way you want them to go. Well, I'll just move down the road to another school, instead of working through it and being better and, maybe working harder than a guy beside me. I'm like, guys, when you get in a job, you're not getting a promotion by just showing up on time. You got to get there 15 minutes early and earn that promotion. So, yeah, overcoming just society in general, what we see today, and being in a rural place like we are, the whole community of Cherokee County. I think we still have hard work ethic in this place. The county. I'm saying that for every school in here. I know every coach pushes hard work, and those ethics of being loyal to your teammate and to your school. So if you can do that, you can be successful in anything that you set your mind on.
Players, give us some feedback on Coach Ragsdale. Is he mean and grumpy like a grizzly bear, cold and calculating like a polar bear, or soft and caring like a teddy bear?
Well, he has all of the above. On game days, he's a little grumpy, and then if you talk to him before you go in the weight room, he gets soft. He gets soft every now and then.
Coach Ragsdale's straight business. That's all he stands on.
I'd say Coach Ragsdale does a great job of staying right there in the middle. You mess up, he'll get on your tail. 15 minutes later, when everything's all calmed down, he's back with messing with you, like how brothers are. You mess with each other and you forgive each other.
Just to add what Noah said, he's straight business. All right. Yeah.
This is for Gray and Hayes. Somebody had alluded to earlier that, a veteran backfield. Just talk about, is there pressure there that that you've got a lot of talent, to do what you do?
I think there would be more pressure if they wasn't as talented as they are. If Connor and John wasn't as swifty as they are, because then it helps hide your mistakes, I'd say.
I feel like if we just get our job done, if every man gets their job done, we'll be well on our way.
I did not know that Taylor and John were Taylor Swift fans. You just call them Swifties? Or did you say they were Swifty?
Well, I don't know about Connor, but I know John is. I thought Swifty was a word. No, John is.
I think earlier somebody had mentioned about the schedule being a little bit different this year, obviously with some new region teams and everything. Just talk about how refreshing it is to maybe play, some different teams, maybe that you haven't played in a little while.
Yeah, it's pretty refreshing because playing the same teams, it don't really get old, but it kind of gets like, what they're going to do. So I want to play somebody that I don't really know what they're going to do, and it's pretty much a surprise of what they're going to do.
I guess it's nice. I think it was good for us, like the region that we had these past couple of years, just because we played a lot of athletic teams like Winterboro, Wadley, and TCC was very athletic too. So like playing them helped us, I feel like, in the long run, and playing maybe for the playoffs and stuff like that. But playing more local teams is also going to be more fun too, because maybe more guys we know and stuff like that. I think it'll be nice.
Yeah, kind of like how Noah said. I think it's a little gives you a little anxious and a little excited, because you just never played them before. But then again, you get to play different teams, new teams. So
I feel like there's no difference, really. If you have the right game plan and watch film, I think you're fine.
Yeah, because me and Shannon was talking about this before. They y'all hadn't played Gaylesville since 17. So these guys are like 6th or 7th graders, so it has been a while. I'm excited about this as people that cover the area, and not just for football, but baseball and basketball too. How some of these regions are still going to line up. So we're excited for y'all for the season. Now, of course, the last question, we got to ask you about NCAA 25. What's your teams? Are y'all playing at any, or are y'all just not playing it at all because you're just locked in on?
I am locked in, but in my break time, when I get done working out, I don't need to be out there doing anything, getting in trouble. So I stay at home and play Road to Glory. On JSU, I got a running back from JSU.
Roll Tide.
I've just started, so I ain't got a running back that's really good like Noah has. I just got back from vacation, so I played until about 2:30 in the morning yesterday.
What team are you using?
Right now, I made a 3-star, and Jack State didn't want me, which blows my mind. So right now,
they don't recruit this area well. They just don't. Sorry, Coach Rod. They don't recruit this area very well.
Yeah, what the heck. But I'm a struggling quarterback at Kennesaw State. I've never even heard of them.
Well, they're a pretty legit program. They are. They're good now. You got your guy, 3-star. Anybody else? Y'all got anything? We're good? And as far as this week coming, what do y'all have coming up?
It's actually off week for us, so I kind of give our guys a break because I tell them, when we start Monday, I hope to have you for a while. So go fish, swim. We worked hard. We worked hard for how many weeks? 8. Put 8 weeks in straight. So go enjoy a week off, and let's get to it Monday.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
All right, good luck, Spring Garden Panthers, and coming up on their season. We'll be back in just give about 2 minutes, and we'll take a bathroom break, grab some water, and we'll get Cedar Bluff up.
John can sit down there beside me.
Oh, God, my back.
I really do not want to be last.
Pretty cool.
Because I feel like that's the worst time. I really do want to do this. Got more time to think, though.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. 4th annual Cherokee County Media Days. We got Cedar Bluff Tigers on stage. Coach Corsi's here. Coach Crane is in the Bermuda Triangle Islands, soaking up the sun. As we speak right now, he's watching via satellite. Hello, Coach Crane in the islands. So we appreciate everybody for coming. All our local coverage guys, people from all around, all over different counties. This really has grown into something a lot bigger than what we started it to be, just to give some coverage to our guys that we love our county. And so we're appreciative for all these gentlemen for showing up and being part of this for Cherokee County. So as everybody else has started out with, we'll say, Coach, you can tell us how long you've been there and what your position is, how many seniors you have, and about the new aligned region, I guess, getting back in region play with Sandrock. Because back in the day, I know they don't know, but that was the game. I mean, it was a big part of area. Was it Area 13? I think it was Area 13. But that was always a big game for the county for Cedar Bluff and Sandrock. So y'all can start out with that and go from there and tell us what grade you are and what position you play.
All right, my name is Colby Corsi. I'm the defensive coordinator at Cedar Bluff. This is my second year at Cedar Bluff. This will be my 13th year overall. Smallest school I've been to as far as coaching-wise, so making that adjustment from large schools to a smaller school last year, a little bit different. Having to use different players for every sport was a little bit different. So, but being around these guys, they're tough, gritty, hard work. I think we got 12 seniors returning this year. 9 to 10 returning starters on offense, and then we have 9 returning starters on defense. Defense will look a little bit different this year. We're going to change fronts, play multiple defenses, different things there to give these kids the chance to be athletes and play a little bit. Offense, I think our identity is to pound our opponents and take some shots when we can. And I'll let these guys introduce themselves.
I'm Jacob Chambers. I play right tackle and defensive end, and I'm a senior.
My name is Hunter Jenkins, and I'm the running back, and I play outside linebacker on defense, and I'm also a senior.
My name is Caleb Evanson. I'm a receiver, and I'm a DB.
I'm Hunter Stones. I'm a senior. I play quarterback and safety.
I'm Katie and Tracy. I play receiver and outside linebacker, and I'm a junior.
How did you get the duty today of bringing these guys here?
I drew the shortest straw. we got a smaller staff here, and like I said, Coach Crane is spending some family time soaking up the last bit with him. Like I said, and I guess me and Coach Johnson kind of talked about it, and I volunteered. I've done the media days for different things, of baseball and different sports, so kind of accustomed to it. So I volunteered.
I know it's Coach Crane's second year as a head coach. It's also your second year here. I mean, just talk about, you sort of mentioned this in your opening statement. Just talk about, probably a different off-season, this off-season, as opposed to last year where you're probably learning faces and names and everything. Just talk about the difference.
Yeah, coming in last summer, adjusting to a football schedule, workout schedule, and then taking over the baseball program was kind of a lot on our plate. This year, having an established program, second year coaches coming back. Coach Crane's been there for several years. Coach Johnson, this is his second year there too. So having an understanding of our players, kind of being able to push their abilities too. I think last year the new coaches were trying to figure out what we had, kind of limitations, but now we know what we got. So being able to introduce new things, new concepts, really making these kids push themselves to be better every day. Like I said, they've done a great job in the weight room. We're trying new dietary stuff. weighing in every day, making sure that we get fluids down, just being the best athlete we can possible. So that's been the biggest thing this summer.
And guys, before I turn the microphone over, just want to get your impressions of moving into a new region. We mentioned Sandrock just a minute ago, obviously a county rival. Now it has a little bit more of an impact, importance. Just talk about the move up and your schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2A, it's a different ball game for sure, but we ain't got to worry about teams like Fife or Collinsville in that region. Still looking forward to playing Collinsville though later on in the season, but or actually early on. But Sandrock's always been a big rival for us. That's what we consider our rival. So it's always good to play them, and getting them in region play is even better. So
I'm really excited to start 2A, honestly. People don't think we're ready for it, but I'm here to show them.
Got to lean on Hunter Jenkins said right there. I'm from Sandrock, so looking at this season, we get to play Sandrock in a big region game. So I'm ready to go whoop some butt.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing some new teams that we haven't played in a long time, especially Collinsville, and I like having Sandrock back in our region again because they're a big game.
Yeah, like Hunter said, I'm very excited to play new teams, and I'm just ready.
Looks like Gaylesville is not on the schedule for the first time since 1953. That's 70 years or so with Gaylesville on the schedule. What are some of your impressions on that?
I guess they was a little scared this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were scared. They were getting tired of getting beat so bad.
yeah, kind of like they said, they didn't have to play us this year with us moving out of the region. So it's if they're going to be able to not play us, they're not going to. They know what's going to happen.
So on the rivalry standpoint, would you put Sandrock as your biggest rival or Gaylesville as your biggest rival, or where does that stand?
Definitely Sandrock, because Sandrock's been good competition throughout the years, and Gaylesville's not really a competition. We love going across the bridge and winning every year, but it's not really a rival.
Yeah, I would say Sandrock is more of a rival because it's a little bit more even matched. But yeah, Gaylesville, there aren't really much of a competition.
Your non-region schedule is pretty tough. You're playing Valley Head, who was 8-4 last year, Collinsville, who was 8-3 last year, Spring Garden, who was 8-3 last year. Give us some impressions about playing a tough schedule, not just having a 2A region schedule, but your non-region being tough also, guys.
Yeah, I think playing harder teams in your non-region games, it gets you more ready for playoffs, and it just gets you better as a team.
Yeah, kind of bouncing off what he said. We experienced the same thing with baseball last year. We played a lot of tough teams early on, and it got us ready for region play and ended up allowing us to get into the playoffs later on in the season. So playing those tough teams out of region, it always helps prepare for region games and going into the playoffs. So.
Now, last year you played 5 of your first 7 games on the road. But this year you play 5 of your first 7 games at home. Give me your impressions upon being home people for a while.
So yeah, it's always a different atmosphere at LD Bruce. We love playing there. Of course, we don't mind going on the road, but home games are always different. So.
Yeah, I'm very excited for my senior year to have a lot more home games than away games because at Cedar Bluff it's a family, All the players are family, and that's just really how it is.
Talk a little bit about the Cedar Bluff tradition. You guys have had many great teams in the past, and if I'm thinking right, Cedar Bluff has made the playoffs every year since 1995. Talk a little bit about
Yes, sir, we have, but this year we're going to try to make it further than the first round for sure.
Yeah, I think kind of build off your schedule thing, the complexity of the non-region schedule. You're playing different offenses, different defenses. Like I said, I know from a kid's aspect, they don't look at it that way, but as a coaching aspect, you want to see multiple offenses, multiple defenses when you make the playoffs, because we played Wadley last year in the first round, and we hadn't seen anything all year long, kind of what they lined up, and really the type of athletes we played too, other than Coosa Christian. So that was our non-region schedule this year. We wanted to make sure we had different looks, different opponents, playing different athletes too, to kind of better suit you for the playoffs.
And finally, players, give us some insight on your coaches. Is Coach Crane mean and grumpy like a grizzly bear, cold and calculating like a polar bear, or soft and caring like a teddy bear? Which one is he like? And you can also include Coach Coursey on this.
Coach Crane's all the above, really. Never gets down to the nitty gritty. He becomes a grizzly bear, but before the game, he's all like a teddy bear, really. Before the games, Coach Coursey's a teddy bear, and at game time, he turns a switch and he gets pretty mean. So, that's it.
Yeah, I agree with Caleb there. Our coaches are all pretty well-rounded, I'd say. They know when to turn the switch on. So, and I think that's where we get some of that from. We know when to turn the switch on too. So.
Yeah, I would say Coach Coursey, he's like a polar bear. He stays pretty calm most of the time, but he can get grumpy when he needs to.
This is for the coach and the players. Guys, talk a little bit about how you feel about being able to go to some different places this year and play some different teams from maybe what you've been doing since the region realignment.
Well, for me, it's a different look because I guess I've been around the state a little bit and played many different teams, many different coaches. I think this region is a very tough region. Obviously, Pisgah, I think North Sand Mountain are probably your top teams of the region. They're going to be more aerial attacks, lining up against them. Like I said, obviously, you got the rival games with Sandrock. And then Spring Garden's always a big game, too. I think a lot of people leave them off or forget about them. But, last year we were in an absolute dogfight with Spring Garden to the very last, probably like the last 2 minutes of the game. So being able to play different teams, kind of go out with an experienced bunch this year. It's not like we're coming out with a first-year group of kids. I mean, they're well-seasoned, well-rounded. The biggest thing we have this year that we didn't have last year is depth. We've got more kids out, playing this different schedule where you're playing different offenses where, you get more athletes out to defend the pass or, we're going to throw the ball more this year. You get more kids out. So that excitement, kind of gets them out too. To build off that. So it's exciting to play different places. Like I said, these kids will look back at it one day and realize, they drive their kids these places. Man, I played there. I was able to, play against these guys and venture out too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a different year this year. We've been in the same region for the past, I think, 4 years, basically with just a little change or two with Decatur Heritage. But it's going to be great to go and travel new places and get to play different teams and see different offenses and defenses that we wouldn't normally see with the run-heavy region that we were in last year. So it's going to be great to get out there.
Yeah, to go off a little way, he said, yeah, but this year in the weight room, this summer we worked very hard. I think we're ready for 2A ball.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Me 3.
Coach, I want to kind of go along with, what you're talking about, playing these different teams. And in small ball, that's what I call, it's 2A, I know. But, 1 or 2A ball, even, 3A, and some small 4A teams. What's been indifferent for you? You've been around some different places. What makes, because you're talking about how many guys you got back. And if you said you had how many back, 12? All right, and then when he says, there's 10 on offense and then 9 on defense, because they play both ways. And that's something, different at small schools. What has that been like for you the past 2 years, being around that?
Like I said a minute ago, too, depth has been our biggest thing this off season, this summer. So when you build depth, you're able to rest guys here and there. But the quality of depth we have makes it easier to give a guy a blow here and there. So hopefully this year we're not having to play as many both ways. But at the end of the day, you want your dogs on the field and you want them out there competing. So that's been a plus there. Just from the coaching aspect of it, like I said, I think Cherokee County in 2015 was the smallest school I've been to besides Cedar Bluff. So me as a coach, the workload we put into as far as film, study, collaborating with other coaches and stuff like that, sharing ideas, bringing that work ethic here to our staff with Coach Crane, Coach Johnson, and those guys, and kind of sharing my expertise as far as film breakdown, charts breakdown, what was a lot for them because I'm used to other schools we're meeting for 10, 12 hours, on the weekend. I think got our work done in 3 or 4 hours and able to present a good game plan for these kids last year. Then having the returning guys we got coming back, we're building off terminology instead of having to introduce stuff. So that helps out a lot too, because you can add more stuff and be more complex on offense and defense instead of just building base packages.
Coach, I want to build off that question just a moment and ask you. You talked about more depth. How many seniors total? You've got 5 up here today. I guess they're all seniors today. How many total seniors on the team? Squad breakdown. How many kids in the program right now?
We got 12 total seniors. I'll say we got 4 seniors up here, 1 junior on the end down there. I think we got 30. I think we had 33 or 34 varsity players out for the summer. Boys workouts, I think total 7th grade through 12th grade, we had right around 65, 68 kids, which last year I think we were right around averaging 40, 45 kids per day. So my motto has always been, when you win, the kids will come out. So we made the playoffs in every sport last year, except for boys basketball, and missed it by a game. So getting that excitement in athletics back at Cedar Bluff was our biggest goal last year for all the coaches. And so like I said, every kid wants to be part of a winning program. So getting those kids back out was kind of the easy part, because they did all the work. I mean, they won the games. They went in the hallways, recruited their friends, and allowed us to build that depth.
Talk about what you've done this summer. You may have already talked a little bit about maybe OTAs, 11-on-11, 7-on-7. What have you done getting ready for the season so far?
Biggest thing, put a lot of work in the weight room. That's our biggest emphasis. I think last year we kind of looked in every sport across the board that we were kind of not as strong as we should have been, especially when it comes to football. Some of the games that we were hanging in there, we kind of got pushed around in the fourth quarter. So these kids, hour and a half every day, they bust in the weight room, speed and agility. I said I've took over on defense this year, so I've brought a completely different package to it. And we've installed it pretty much the entire summer. We didn't have a spring, so we'll jump right into it in a couple weeks. And then we had a few 7-on-7s, competed at Spring Garden a couple weeks ago, and did the FCA 7-on-7 and finished 3-2 there. And I'll say it, we had Westbrook on the ropes there at the end, and that's a quality 3A program. And like I said, for these kids to have them on the ropes and putting a defense in that we've only installed for 2 weeks is a testament of how much they've learned, picked up on terminology, and adjusted on the fly.
Guys, I want to ask you individually and team-wise expectations that you have for yourself and for your team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of us up here are 3- and 4-year starters. We've all started since we were freshmen. So I see the group that we have, especially the O-line group that we got this year. We got a lot of returners that have started for several years, and I expect us as an O-line group to just maul everybody and try to run for as many yards as we can, especially with this guy running behind us. So, yeah, and as a team, we expect to go to the playoffs. That's just the expectation we have as Cedar Bluff Tigers, just going to the playoffs. But I believe that our group expects to go deeper this year than we've ever been. So,
yeah, going off a little bit what he just said, I'm very excited to play this year, and that's it.
Yeah, the expectations are extremely high this year, especially this group. We're feeling really confident. So we're going to go out there, give it 110%, and give everything we got on the field.
Yeah, I have a lot of high expectations because we have so many seniors. I think this is the most seniors we've had in a long time. We have a lot of experience, and we've all been playing together for a long time, so I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, like these two said, expectations are definitely higher for since we've been playing. Yeah. I forgot.
Like I asked the group before, your group, you got 4 seniors and 1 junior right up there now. When you were chosen to represent Cedar Bluff going into this football season, you knew you were going to be at the head table. What does that mean to you, representing? Because the words you say, the things you do, your work ethic represents Cedar Bluff and the community and the other players there. What does it mean to you to be selected to be up there today as you head into this football season?
It's definitely a privilege to be up here today, and all of us put in the hard work up here to be up here, and I think we all earned it.
So kind of what he said, we all worked really hard these 5 guys that are up here are the top 5 guys in our weight room, and I think that's a big part of it. So we work really hard, and it means a lot to be able to represent Cedar Bluff, not only as a school and a football team, but as a community.
Oh, it means a lot for me because my family is from Cedar Bluff, and my cousin Jacob Burleson. I go downstairs and I see his picture up in the hallways, and it's like very, very accomplishing that I'm able to sit up here and speak to y'all today.
Yeah, just been around Cedar Bluff my whole life, going there my whole life. It just means a lot to be able to be up here because I've grown up going to football games and stuff, and it's just something I've always looked up to.
It honestly means a lot. I'm the only junior up here, and I've just worked as hard as I can to be up here, and I'm very glad.
What things, I asked some of the other guys this, as you being the older guys now, and, you know, my son played with some of y'all, and, it's, you know, what do you want to leave behind to the younger guys now that you're the older guys? Because I know some of them, Corey or Marcus, Ombre, and those guys, you know, they always wanted to leave behind to play hard and to play tough, and you just have to go and fight through some things because you're asked to play both ways a lot. So what things do y'all want to leave behind to your younger Tiger guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Growing up with looking up to those guys, you know, Corey, Marcus, Ombre, Jacob Stowe, those offensive linemen were always, you know, big and tough, and that's something that I've tried to instill in the younger guys below me because I have started for a long time. So the guys under me, I just want them to understand that there is an expectation when you play for Cedar Bluff, when you put on the red and white, that you're going to work hard and you're not just going to back down when it gets to game day. So.
Yeah, I just want to leave behind that to the younger ones that you just got to work hard and you don't ever need to quit.
Just to touch off that, I know on September 13th, the school's going to honor the 1959 team. That was the first state championship team that Cedar Bluff had in its history. Just talk about, you know, the history of Cedar Bluff that you want to live up to. I mean, obviously that team was a special team because it was the first state championship team that Cedar Bluff had. I mean, what would it mean to you guys to, you know, maybe accomplish the same things that they did?
Yeah, so that means everything. I mean, every team when they first start, their goal is to not only just win week to week, but it's to obviously get to that championship. So, and I think this is the best group that we've had in several years, and I think if any year can do it, it's going to be Class of 2025. So.
Yeah, definitely. Going off what he said, I think this is the most confident we've ever been going into this season. So I think we'll make it pretty far, and I think we could be a championship team.
Going off what Hunter Jenkins said, we're very confident going on into this season. We want to be known as the middle line. So after this season, we want our names to be recognized.
Yeah, just we're confident, and we all believe that we can make it as far as we want to, which is that last game, and we just got to play like it.
Like they said, I'm very confident. I think this is the group that could definitely make it.
Starkey, Dean. That's it. Of course, I'm going to finish with this one. We finished the same question with everybody. NCAA 25, are you playing, and who's your team?
Me personally, I have not got the game yet and have not started playing, but I don't know about any of them.
I got the game 2 days ago. Started with a 3-star recruit in the Jacksonville State. I'm running back. I'm pretty good right now.
Yeah, I got it a few days ago when it released. Started as a 3-star, went from Troy, and then transferred to the University of Alabama as a quarterback.
I haven't gotten the game yet, and I probably won't.
He's locked in, guys. No, he's going to play real football. Hunter's the man. All right, guys, we appreciate y'all for all coming out. Coach Coursey, good to see you, and good luck to your season. We'll see you guys soon. Okay, see you guys. We'll have Cherokee County Warriors up, Coach Kelly and guys. I'll have them up here in just a minute. Yeah, we'll get you a picture over there in the corner, guys. Whenever y'all ready. So y'all looking up here. Come on up. Come on, Tittles and Browns, Harbors. Uh-oh. Come on in here, have a seat.
Yes, ma'am.
How y'all doing? Did y'all eat yet? Hey, you looking sharp down there. I see you. I see you. I see you down there looking good, man. They said they didn't need you up here, Coach. All right, welcome into the 4th Annual Cherokee County Media Days. We have Coach Kelly and our Cherokee County Warriors up here with us to finish off the day. We've had a great day, had a good crowd here, and again, we have to shout out to Shane Gibbons. Thank you for always hosting this and letting us do this here. And Shane's, we could do anywhere, and Shane's always just open to let us do it here. He comes in, he works and sets all this stuff up, so we're appreciative to Shane for that. And make sure y'all order some food and help Shane out. And also thank you to our local guys, WIS Shannon Fagan, Post Herald Roy Mitchell, Bo Starkey, Famous Average Joe's, the Diamond Dean from Locker Room Sports here, Jim Jacobs from F&N Network. Glad Jim could come and join us this year. Mr. Holder and Coach Short from High School Football Alabama. And, of course, the famous Jeff Allen and sidekick here from WQSB. We're proud to have these guys here and that our coverage could span out from this area to let other people see our great kids from our great county. And so we'll turn it over to Coach Kelly. You can tell us how long you've been here, how many seniors you got, and tell us about your new aligned region, sort of, what you fired up about.
Well, it's not really a new region. When I first got here, it's pretty much the same region we were in, except it's 6 instead of 4. But coming up this year, this is my biggest senior class. I've got 18 seniors coming up, and that's kind of like when we talked, it was going to be tough for me to get 4 out of the 18. So I really tried to keep it to 4 seniors, and here we are with 6. So anyway, they're not big talkers anyway. But anyway, going on sixth season, I believe, 6th year, year 6 here at Cherokee County. It's been a whole lot of fun, a lot of building, and I was telling somebody the other day, I can't believe this bunch is about to be seniors, because they were 7th graders when I first got here. I feel like we've been around each other so long, and we're so close-knit that, I can kind of tell just by how they walk in the facility how this is about to go, how good it's about to be. And it's just, it kind of makes me feel old that they're about to be seniors, and I don't even want to look ahead till next year. But really, really good bunch. I'll let them introduce themselves. But last thing I want to say on the introduction is we lost a family member, Warrior family, Coach Blanchard, Miss Blanchard at the high school. They're going through a tough time right now, so we want to let them know we love you, and y'all are in our prayers. And if y'all need anything, just like every day at school, when I'm emailing asking for my players to maybe come down to the weight room early, they're such good people, and our prayers are with Miss Rhonda Bailey, the whole family, Fran, Tara, all those all those, they're going through a tough time. So just want to tell them we love them, and prayers are with you.
Caleb Harbor, senior, defensive line.
Carson Tittle, quarterback. I'm a senior.
Tristan Brown, linebacker, 12th grade.
Landon Ransom, offensive tackle, senior.
Ben Frampton, wide receiver, senior.
Tate Almond, senior lineman. Defense lineman, I'm sorry.
Coach, I know back-to-back state runners-up. Obviously, one of the big question marks that you've got is replacing, the warrior, Jacob Cornejo. Just talk about, what your plans are maybe for the backfield this year, and just go from there.
Jacob is he's a very special player to me, just because when we first met in the counselor's office, I had no idea who he was. He was going to be a junior, and so we spent a lot of work together. But I don't know if you can necessarily replace him, but we've got 4 or 5 guys that are their own monster in themselves. Jacob took the majority of the carries just because, of kind of a depth, where we were at on offense, defense, the depth chart, other places keep, other people fresh, but I can promise you, between Tay, Tristan, Keyshawn, Tyson, we've got a young one, Jay-Sean Stroop, we're not hurting for running backs in the skill position at all. But replacing Jacob, replacing some of the linemen, it's going to be tough. But like we build young guys too, so like y'all will get to know our starting offensive linemen, and you'll be surprised at what you see, because we've seen it. We just we don't necessarily see it last year on Fridays, because there were senior starters ahead of them. But kids like Dylan Duncan, Asa, Hulbert, James Hunter, Jackson Doeg, Gavin Brown, Dawson Bartlett, all those guys would be starters at a lot of other places. They just didn't start for us last year because of Antonio, Gaylor, Cooper Martin. Who was your offensive line that I'm missing? Ransom's right there. But anyway, so a lot of those guys, they were ready. They just had, competition battles and stuff like that. So best year we've had in the weight room as far as the all-season program. This is the strongest team that I've ever had going into August, and that's really because of them and what they've done, and the ownership and leadership they've done since we, wrapped it up in December all the way until, now, really. And so I think the question was replacing Cornejo. We're necessarily not trying to replace Jacob. What I'm trying to do is introduce people to the rest of the names that I just saw. And, that's the easiest way to move on, I guess, is to just hand it to somebody else and let them see. People have seen Tay. Tay did a great job in the playoffs of, when Carson got hurt and Jacob had to take snaps at quarterback, which he had never done, especially, the day before we played West Morgan, who was, all this and that. Jacob took his first snaps at quarterback Friday night and went for 250 at halftime. But Tay in that game, I don't know how many he had, but he was pushing 200 himself. And, so he took a lot of the carries. And then you got Keyshawn Woods, who was an all-region player, voted on by the region coaches, and he wasn't even our starter. So we've got capable guys. They just, you hadn't put their name in the paper yet.
Coach, you have some pretty high-quality non-region opponents, or at least a couple of them that are pretty big. You have Arab that was 8-3 last year in 5A, and Shades Valley that was in that's in 6A, and you've got Piedmont, which, though their record wasn't good last year, they made it to the second round of the playoffs, and they always seem to be good. Tell us a little bit about your philosophy of scheduling non-region opponents.
Well, the biggest thing is starting in advance and trying to fill out. It's better in Alabama because you got the set dates of open weeks, so you're always kind of looking for 0, 1, 5, and 10, and then you try your best to kind of call Coach Short and call around and find out what's the word of the new regions and stuff, and so you try to kind of plan ahead, and then you get put in a 9-team region on Monday, and you have to call somebody and cancel a Week 5 game, and then you find out Tuesday you're back in an 8-team region, so you call back the Week 5 opponent, and they're already full, and then you just kind of sit around with 9 games until you can find the 10th. And we've played 9 before. We've had, I think my second year, we had somebody cancel on us like a couple weeks before the season started, so we've had to play 9. It's tough. I mean, everybody's kind of looking for, things that can benefit them their program. So, some teams it may be finding a team they feel like they can beat. What we're looking for is teams that are going to get us ready for playoffs, and we want good gates out of it. We want to, we travel extremely well. So when we sign up, we're bringing Cherokee County with us, and so Arab is going to benefit. Shades Valley is going to benefit. And they're teams that I've seen on film, but I don't really know a lot about. But Shades Valley is going to be tremendously athletic, and so, we're going to see some athletic teams throughout the year. Anniston, we have them a couple weeks after Shades Valley. Arab is always hard-nosed, well-coached, and, we've seen them on film just because in the past we've had some similar opponents. So we know what type of ball they're going to play, and they're going to get after you. And then, obviously, Piedmont's a huge rivalry for us, and we're looking forward to kicking off. I don't know if we've ever played them week 0, but we're looking forward to that coming up on the 24th of August, I think.
You mentioned a little bit about your depth earlier. What are some positions where you have the most experience of game time, and what are some positions where you do have some of that least experience?
Well, up here we've got 2 defensive linemen. We've got our signal caller on offense and defense. Tristan Brown is, he's 2-time All-State kid coming back, signal calling on defense. I think Lloyd might have tried to start calling the strength, but I think you took over about halfway through last year. Carson's back on the offense side of the ball, coming back from an injury. He's looked extremely well. And so in the skill position, I'd say, other than Jacob, we're returning pretty much everybody. In the secondary, we're returning some good guys. We lost Jace, we lost Cooper Rogers, and we lost Alex Johnson. So 3 out of the 4 in the secondary. But Keyshawn Thomas has come along at a corner position. Luke Young and Cooper Allen have looked tremendous at safety. Javier Henderson's another guy that's had a lot of success in practices and OTAs so far. And so we're really pleased at where we are in the secondary. The biggest hit that we've probably took was on the O-line, just losing left tackle to right guard. But like I said, we've got guys, like when we go to our heavy package, some of those young guys got in there last year. And especially in the playoffs, we were in the heavy a pretty good bit. And so those guys got a lot of reps in those situations. And like I said, I'm just ready to see them get pads on. We're within a week and a half away from that, and then a lot of the question marks that we had about, a lot of other things will be answered.
What about Chestnut and Mosley? Are they going to play any defense, or are they just offensive guys?
Yeah, those guys are back too. Chestnut's playing outside backer. He's put on about 25 pounds this offseason. Looks really, really good. You know, and you know, he's looked good at outside linebacker. He's returning all-region receiver as well. And he's one of our, you know, most versatile athletes because, you know, he can do a lot of different things. And who was the other? Ben Mosley. Mosley's had he's both of them have hit a spurt. Mosley's all of like 6'5" now. He's gotten up to about 210. He's coming back from the beach, so he'll probably show back up about 205. But he's coming to his own. We tested our guys the last week in June, and he can move. You know, he's long, but he can move. Right now he's repping some defense, but he's at surface tight end still. Yeah, me too.
Well, Friday nights at Cherokee County are really electric. You guys have had a lot of playing time, have been there many Friday nights. What are some of the things you will take with you that you like so much about Friday nights?
I think the biggest thing I'll take with me is that feeling when you're in the tunnel and you're getting ready to run out. You can hear all the kids screaming over the music. And when you run out, it's just a smile on their face just to see you play is the biggest thing I'm going to take with me.
Like Caleb said, there's really no better feeling running out that tunnel on Friday night, seeing the crowd go crazy, and it's just a great atmosphere.
I'd have to say making big plays and hurting people.
I'd probably have to say the same thing Tristan just said. Just hurting people, and then that gets people excited. So we got to do our part for them to do theirs.
One thing I'll take with me is the community behind us. They're never quiet in the stands. They're always as loud as they can be.
They really said everything, so it's everything they said.
I'll ask you this then, since we're going to talk on coaches, and I'll bring this up because Coach Whitaker was close. I was close to him and all the boys, and we coached against each other and with each other when the boys were all little. And since this is kind of his last group, you know, to come through. So, you know, it would mean a lot, you know, I know to him and the years of success that y'all had here. You know, what would it mean to y'all to, you know, get through and get back down there and win state, you know, for Coach Whitaker, think about that.
I'll let the ones that was on the Ravens talk about, you know, just last season together. It was Coach Wheeler's last bunch, really, with the Ravens. I know Tay Harbor, was you on that team? No, I know Tristan, Landon, Tay, and I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of felt like how we grew up learning the game. Like, it felt at home. You knew everybody, what their intentions was going on the field. We knew it all our life. So it was definitely the most comfortable season. Like, I put my trust in everybody. I believed in them 110%, and we almost got the job done.
Same thing Landon said.
Really just, you know, going out your last year, your senior year, and winning state, winning it all, it's a good feeling because, let me see. I mean, it's a good feeling because it's like you're doing it with your brother, so it's just a good feeling.
Give us some insight on your coaches at practice. Coach Kelly, is he mean and grumpy like a grizzly bear, cold and calculating like a polar bear, or soft and caring like a teddy bear?
All of them, every day.
It really just depends on if he gets his workout in or not. Because if he don't get his workout in, then he's a grump the whole practice. But if he does get his workout in, then he's fine.
Yeah, I had to say the same thing. Scary.
really depends how he wakes up and if he has his coffee.
His mood depends on how we go in the weight room. If it's a good day, he's in a good mood. If it's a bad day, he's in a bad mood.
Really just depend on how you walk in the morning. Like if you walk in like you don't want to be there, then he already gonna know it's like finna be a bad day. So he gonna let you know in the weight room as soon as we walk in there. It's gonna be a bad day if we don't fix our attitude and fix our mindset and go about the day better.
My question is for Carson. Last year in the playoffs, you had the knee injury. One of the gutsiest performances even to come back out there and play. You absolutely killed it in one game. I think it was the West Morgan game when you came in, had a really great game, and then winning the state championship game, tried to gut it out, wasn't able to finish the game, but everything happens for a reason. Everything's in God's time. And what was your takeaways from that personally? Being out there, just absolutely laying it on the line, doing what you did, pretty heroic, and definitely got my respect and everybody else across the state.
Well, going to the state championship is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can't really take that for granted. And so I knew I could go out there and just throw the ball. I mean, I don't really need my legs to throw, really. So I really just got out there and just let it loose for real.
So let me get this straight, Coach. This guy right here is your wide receiver? He looks like he's huge.
He's
How good
short.
Short.
No, he's one of our strongest kids in the weight room. He's one of our fastest. He's just, Frampton's one of the guys that he loves to work. He finds work. They talk about, moods and stuff like that, but they know that everything we do is about us. We don't focus on the exterior stuff. We don't focus on any opponent that we play. We prepare for them, but we focus on us. And so it's their job to come in locked in, ready to go. And that's the thing I'm going to miss about really not just this bunch, but really the last 3 classes that we've had culminating with these guys right here is they just love to work, and yeah, there are days like in life where you really aren't feeling it, but like they take a lot of pride and just coming in and being developed. Like they love the process of what we do in the off season. The energy is really unmatched by anywhere I've ever been, and I think that just kind of speaks to the love that they have of being a part of what they're a part of in the locker room, and you don't find that everywhere, but it's just, everybody talks about coaches and have favorites. Man, I love the players that find work. I love the players that love just becoming better players. Like that's my favorites, is the ones that want to come in, want to improve. Like if you have no desire to put work in, to be coachable, to sweat, to bleed, to compete, this is not the place for you. This ain't it. But like I said, we've got 18 seniors that's been with us a long time, and just to see their development, he didn't always look like that. But he just, like I said, he's one of all of them that love to come in, love to compete. He's just one of the special ones that we've got coming back. He's the leading receiver in yards and touchdowns, does a lot for us in the kicking game, return game. And, so we're looking forward to seeing him this fall.
Coach, I got a couple for you. When we sat down this time a year ago, we talked about the expectations for the team, and, anything short of getting back to state was pretty much unacceptable. Do you sense there's a little bit of a letdown on that this year versus, say, where it was last year as far as expectations are concerned, not internally, but externally?
I like how you said that at the end, because internally we weren't really focused on Game 15 at all. The talking season that we're in right now kind of puts it into perspective, because we've been there 2 years in a row, whatnot. But like what we're going to do Monday is focus on us, and doing the program and the core lifts and the stuff that we have and the work and the rent that's due Monday, and so we kind of take it with that approach on a daily basis. Now we've got overall goals, but I think that taking it week by week, day by day, everything else takes care of itself. Friday will be here before we know it, and we'll focus on each individual Friday, but we don't get too far ahead because when you coming back the 2 years that we've just had, everybody pretty much has us scheduled. Circled on the schedule. So we're going to get everybody's best, and so we know that, but that's not something that we focus on or we just worry about us and whoever it is this coming Friday. We have our routines, we have our set practices, and we'll be locked in, ready to go. And I think this group, to me, is going to be fun just because of the exterior that you said. We've lost so much, and y'all have given me a lot of bulletin board material, so I'm ecstatic just to get to August. Just to get this thing rolling, because I know the answers to a lot of these questions, but it remains to be seen. As long as we're us, we'll be all right.
And also for you and the guys, let's talk a little bit about the Piedmont game. We have it scheduled again this year, and this is the third year in a row we've done that game. I don't think we've done that in the 14-year history of the network. It's a pretty big deal. Can everybody kind of elaborate on how big the Piedmont game is and what it means to really both communities?
Right now, I really just focus on North Jackson and the scrimmage. So, yeah.
It's definitely a nasty rivalry. I've grew up on it all my life. My brother played in it. My dad played in it. So it's really it's nasty. If you come to a game, it's going to be 48 minutes of straight nasty.
It's going to be a great game. It's a great game every year. As soon as when we became freshmen, we played them at their place through the rain, all the conditions. We lost. We felt like the next time we played them, we owed them something, and we delivered something. We won 21-14 my sophomore year. My junior year, we beat them again. And then the senior year, you're going to see.
So, yeah, it's a great rivalry game. It's one of the better ones that I've been a part of, being at Cedartown Rockmart comes to mind. But when I was there, we didn't play Rockmart because, they weren't as big of a school, and, we didn't even play. So Pepperell was our big rival in high school. And so I've been a part of some great rivalries. But as far as the two communities, it's big financially for both of us because it helps us out in paying the bills. It's probably going to be a $15,000 gate. It was $15,000 for us last time. I know they made a lot of money last year because we were real deep over there last year, and so it's just a good rivalry game. These kids grow up kind of playing against each other, or sometimes even playing with. I know there's a lot of my guys that play travel ball with some of their guys, and same thing growing up all the way through. So anytime you've got a rivalry with two tight-knit football towns, it always is going to be fun, but like I said, we've got a long way to go. Not really, but in when you dissect it, we've got a little time and stuff to prepare for them. So we're not necessarily focused on it yet, but it'll be here before we know it. And I know the guys look forward to it as much as I do. Just because the environment that's going to be out there, it's going big stage on TV and the whole 9 yards. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it.
Coach, question, 6 years. It's hard to believe 6 years ago I walked in the lunchroom and lady pointed over there and said, "There's the coach," and I said, "Can't be. He looks too young." But anyway, 6 years. Did you envision when we sit down 6 years ago in August where the program would be in 6 years?
Probably not, if I'm being honest. At that point, I don't even know if we had played a game. That might have been like in the preseason, you know. So we had yet to play a game, and I was still, you know, just trying to develop, you know, a winning program and a winning mindset, and you know, doing things a certain way, getting them in the weight room, doing the right things, and playing the right way. And so, you know, time has flown by since then, but you know, once the guys start to take ownership and leadership of the program, I don't have to do as much, you know, so to speak. And so, yeah, it's. I hope I still look as young as I did that day, you know. But anyway, yeah, it's flown by. But like I said, we've kind of had 2 years on fast forward all the way. Because like I said, it seemed like yesterday I was talking to these guys at the middle school, you know, just trying to figure out, you know, who was who. You know, I didn't know their names. They're on a separate campus, trying to find out when I could get these guys in the weight room and put my eyes on them, so I could kind of see what we had coming up. And we weren't 18 then, but like I said, this group has grown a little bit and just, you know, continued to kind of bloom and flourish right in front of our own eyes.
Okay, guys, got a question for you. Been to state championship back-to-back years. Individual expectations, team expectations, and goals for this year.
My individual expectations to be a leader on and off the field. And obviously, we all know what the main goal as a team is to win a state championship.
Same thing Carson said, but individually, I expect for myself 200 plus tackles and 40 plus tackles for loss.
As a team, I expect state championship, but individually, I just expect to leave it my all out there. I don't want to leave no regrets for my senior year.
We all expect to go back and bring home the blue mat, but individually, I want to leave it all out on the field every Friday night.
Individually, I just want to get 30 sacks, and as a team, I just want to win the state championship and bring home the blue.
Coach, just to touch off of what Tay just mentioned, I mean, 30 sacks, I mean, you know, a lot of kids, I mean, that's pie in the sky type of, you know, thoughts right there. But, I mean, you've got a guy up here who's a two-time, you know, Lineman of the Year finalist who could very well do that. Just, if you will, talk about defensively, you know, this team should be one of the great defenses in this state. I mean, with all these guys up here, several of these guys are up here that's on this team, on this stage here. You know, just talk about defensively. I mean, you guys should be pretty solid there.
Yeah, we've got a lot of guys returning in the box, you know, in the secondary, you know, and 30 is a crazy number, but I mean, so is 22 sacks, which is what he had last year, and so is 20, which is what he has as a sophomore, and really so is, like, what was it, freshman, 12 or 13 as a freshman. And so, you know, being in Montgomery 2 years in a row and not leaving with any hardware, I know has motivated him without him even having to say it, you know. And so it's not that he takes it personal, but you can, you know, there is no extra motivation needed with that sense, because, you know, he's been in that seat 2 years in a row. And I know when we left Montgomery, I guess it was in January of this year, you know, I know he's driven to hopefully get back on that stage, but that's, that's an individual goal for him. But we've got a lot coming back. Tay's a big piece of what we got. I'm surprised more people don't double team him. But he's been double teamed in the past, and he seems to find the quarterback. And so he's just really good off the edge. He's got great instincts. He's got a great motor, and he's one of our strongest kids. And so he's very, very tough to get his hands on and tough to block. And he's, like I said, he's instinctive, so he's got a good mind. He can read, just like all these guys. I mean, Tristan's got a great read and reaction. He's one of our fastest kids as well. And, all these guys are pretty violent when they make contact. So, it should be – I know they're ready to put pads on and whatnot, but we've got a lot returning on defense, and so we don't really think that there's going to be any step back when it comes to that side of the ball. And realistically, from what we've seen so far, I mean, I think we're in pretty good shape where we're at. We've got to tune some things up in the kicking game, but we've got some time to do that, and so we're right where we need to be, and we've just got to continue to keep our focus and keep pushing and get ourselves in shape in the heat. And when pads come on in a couple weeks, just do things the right way, keep ourselves from getting injured, and help each other get ready to go.
Tay, if you will, just talk about defensively, the guys that are around you. I know you give respect to them, for them helping you have the seasons that you've had. Just talk about what these guys mean to you. I mean, like I say, you're a two-time Lineman of the Year finalist. These guys have helped you to get those numbers and everything, and not to take anything away from what you've done yourself, but just talk about playing with your defensive unit.
So it's been an honor because I had a great defense behind me also, like Tristan Brown, Caleb Harbor, Hayden Wheeler, Alex Lloyd. You got Chase Turner. I played for him played with him 1 year last year. You got Alex Johnson. You got all those guys. They all dogs, so it ain't just me out there making plays. You got all of them. You got Tristan averaging 15 tackles a game. You got Caleb making my job so much easier because he taking up 3 blockers in the middle. So it's just one-on-one with me on the outside, and you know how that's going to go. But get on top of that. But, yeah, it's like you just got a lot of guys. Then you got not Landon, but let's see who else. You got 8. Nah, that's really it. Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys, I got to ask the question I've asked everybody, NCAA football 25. Are y'all playing? Who's your team?
I won't mind going first. My team is Alabama, they're a really good team in the game, and I ain't got beat with them yet. My record 5-0 against Landon right now, so going real well for me. And after this, I'm finna go whoop on Tristan, so it's finna have a good rest of the day,
My team, Georgia, you know how it is.
My first person, I think I went to Appalachian State, and then I transferred to Oregon, and then I got 3 national championships. So.
Caleb, Carson, y'all.
I don't got the game.
I ain't played yet either.
That's good. And last thing, it's like I've asked some of the other guys, seniors, and, when y'all were the freshman guys and seniors that y'all looked up to, things that y'all took away from them as, being in the weight room more, or, what is some things that you want to leave behind in this freshman class that they'll remember you for?
My 10th grade year, I sat behind Cade Hopper, and he really taught me a lot about the quarterback position, and I was started to do the same thing.
Don't take being on the field for granted. You can get it taken away in a matter of an instinct.
I really looked up to all the guys, no specific position. And I just want to leave behind that hard work pays off. Yeah, I just want to leave behind that. Don't quit. Just keep going. It ain't gonna be bad forever. Like all the summer workouts, the conditioning, all how hot it get and stuff. Just don't give up. Just believe in yourself. At the end of the day.
What I want to leave behind is to not be soft and to work as hard as you can every day you get the chance to.
I want to leave behind that you don't need to be a follower, you need to be a leader. We had a lot of great guys that was a follower, and they could have been a really big help to the team over the past years. And now they just, out doing somewhere else. Who God knows who what.
Mic drop. Anybody else? Okay, guys. Cherokee County Warriors, good luck y'all this season, and we'll see you around for sure. Thank y'all. Thank you, Coach. See you, men. All right, that'll conclude Cherokee County Annual Media Day. We'll try to catch you guys back here next year, about the same time of year. And Sunday night, 6 o'clock. Tomorrow night at 6, Locker Room Sports, me and Dean will be breaking down a lot of high school football from all over, not just around here. We'll be talking about teams from all around. We'll have some special guests on, Powerhouse Sports, talking about football from high school football from down in South Alabama and that type of stuff too. So come by and hang out with us tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.